Good afternoon, folks, and happy Thursday. Today is going to be day 71 working down here at the ranch. And I think we're going to get back to the basics on day 71. I basically have my Sawzall and my clippers. We may get the little DR Pro 30 out, but I came in here with the DR Pro 30 the other day and just kind of plugged away a little bit. And I think now I'm to the point where I need to just start cutting down some of these bigger trees that the DR Pro won't cut up. See if I can get those out of the way. See if I can get this first little section cleaned up. Depending on a couple things. Depending on one, I'm kind of right in between two fronts. Looking at the radar, it was showing that it wasn't going to rain here. But it seems to me like the dark clouds are kind of moving in. So we're going to see if we can get some stuff done. If I can get this little area cleaned up in a decent amount of time. Then basically I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start working on this little area over here a little bit. I'm going to see if I can get that big stump exposed and figure out if that's what it is. But there's definitely something right in there that does not want me disturbing it. But what I may end up doing after that is doing the same thing, getting my DR Pro and kind of poking around in here, trying to get rid of some of these smaller shrubs that are kind of, these little smaller trees that are kind of everywhere. Again, my biggest problem is when you get into those trees, and I'm not even sure what they're called. I feel like I looked it up once, but whatever these trees are that have about 4 different little trees growing out of them, because when you get down to the stump, it's like a big stump with, you know, in some cases 2 or 3, and over there I think we got 3, 4, and 5 over there. But anyway, we're gonna try to get that done this afternoon. We're gonna try to work on this area over here and see if we can get that done, and then maybe get over here and work a little bit. But basically I'm gonna be trying to keep getting this I'm gonna keep trying to get this little area cleaned up here where the septic tank may go. So other than that, we may be dancing in and out of the rain. We'll see what happens. But day 71, here we go. Remember how I said that after the 4th of July I was gonna sit down and start coming up with another music library so you didn't have to hear me talking all the time? Yeah, I haven't done that yet, so I apologize. I did go ahead and get some music in there that's, you know, probably going to get me in trouble with the copyright, but I'm doing it all for you folks, so. Yep, I had to double check and make sure the old camera was on, folks. Still not very good with these GoPros. You'd think after a year I'd have it figured out, but here we are, double checking. I did feel a little bit of nostalgia here, folks, grabbing a hold of this Sawzall and chopping into some trees. And I won't lie, after a few minutes I was starting to lose that nostalgia. So I decided I'd go ahead and get a hold of the old DR Pro 30, folks. This little machine is well worth it if you're ever thinking about getting one. I'm just saying. And just to be clear, I am not getting paid for a sponsorship for the DR Pro 30 XL, but if they decide to give me one, I'd be okay with it. All right, well, I'm not sure if that filmed any of this, because when I went to hit the play button a second ago, it seemed like it was already playing, so I don't know what we got. But anyway, I started to get this little island opened up a little bit. There's definitely a couple little bigger trees in there that I'm gonna have to cut out before I can go on through. There's a big stump right here, and again, this stump right here is basically the clusters of these trees right here. But I've got a couple big pine trees in here, and then I've got one big, I think I looked up the name of that tree one time. I can't remember the name of it, but here's a bigger one. So those things are a nuisance. They kind of grow in 3s, 4s, and 5s, so they're tough no matter what. But it's a little bit after 5. It's looking like the rain's gonna hold off, so I'm gonna keep on rolling on this. You know, patience is a virtue. This is taking a little bit longer, but it's actually getting cleaned up really well. So I'm hoping I won't finish this today. I can already tell you that. It's taken just a long time just to get that little corner done. But I'm hoping this weekend, if the weather stays nice, I'm gonna basically use this same game plan and go in here and try to get as much of that opened up as I can, folks. I figure with all this opened up, it just might be a matter of finding a good spot where there's not too many trees to put that septic tank. But we're gonna keep on rolling here for a little bit. I think the rain's gonna hold off, and it's a little hot, but it's not terrible, that's for sure. Here we go. I tend to repeat myself about 15 times on these videos, folks. I do apologize for that. I am getting a little bit old, and sometimes I can't remember if I said something or just thought it. There's something just so satisfying about smashing your DR Pro XL into these pesky trees when they get into your way. So folks, if you need one, head on down to the dealership. Tell them you saw it on the Rated R Ranch. Maybe I'll get a kickback. I don't know about you folks, but when I've got my clippers and I'm clipping up some stuff that I need to clip, I like to listen to a little bit of Pearl Jam. But no, seriously, this has been a long time since I broke out the clippers, folks, and I didn't really miss the clippers. I think at this point in time, folks, I was starting to wear down just a little bit from slinging that Sawzall all around, cutting down all them trees and getting them dragged off. Had about 15 trips to the burn pile, and then I thought that I was hearing thunder. Just about ran my clippers over. Not just once, but twice. We got up in here and got most of this little corner opened up here. Got a couple trees I got to cut out right there. I need to see if I can get those 2 trees out of there. And I think there's one more over here. Yeah, that's kind of a big cluster. Really this one too, but then we'll just be down to this little area right here. I'm trying to keep an eye on this little front here. I was thinking I was hearing thunder, but I think it was my neighbor over there shooting guns. While I was running the mower, I kept hearing something. But anyway, it's about 6 o'clock, so probably gonna hit it for about another hour. See if we can get some more of this opened up right here. But I got pretty lucky that we had quite a bit of cloud cover, because it's warming up and it's itchy getting in here, and some of this stuff scratching you. There's a lot of little thorns in there that I can't really see until I pretty much grab a hold of it. So there's that. Gonna take a break for a quick minute, see if we can get more of this done, and hope that little storm doesn't head this way. Here we go. Well folks, this is where things kind of started to go downhill. There was this one little bitty tree over there, not very big at all. You'll see it here in a minute. Whatever was going on with this tree was really causing me a whole lot of problems. And pretty much after I finished up with this tree, I was pretty much done for the day. I was huffing and puffing right here, but I had to cut some of it out because of the whole copyright thing, you know. That's borderline cruelty right there. I think right here I was rethinking every decision that I ever made in life and wondered what I was doing standing out here trying to fight this little bitty tree with like a 2-foot tree trunk on it and about 75 different roots coming off of it. And then I about tripped on this one, so I had to get rid of it. Well, and then I decided it wasn't going to clean itself up, so I went ahead and grabbed the old Sawzall, dove back in to try to get rid of a couple of these last little pieces that I needed to get out of the way. I think about that time I realized there was another big tree stump in there, if you can imagine that. Pretty sure at this point I was trying to size up them trees and decide if I could just go in there and knock the rest of this stuff down with my tractor. That tree stump, it did a number on me, I won't lie. But I only had a few branches I needed to cut out of here. I had one big branch on the other side I needed to cut out, so I figured, let's get this done. I'm not sure if you caught me stumbling coming out of there a minute ago, but yep, I was getting a little wobbly legged, and I'm pretty sure I stepped on a little vine sticking out of the ground, if you could imagine that. Well, at least that's what I'm going to blame it on, was that vine sticking up out of the ground. But yep, we were just about wrapped up with this project for the day. As much as I wanted to go ahead and try to get this thing completely cleared out, just didn't seem to be in the cards for us today, folks. We just had one more round with the always reliable DR Pro XL30, which again is always helpful to get anything out of your way that you need to get out of your way. Oh, look out for the camera, man. Look out. Yeah, you guys thought I was going to hit you, didn't you? No, I knew right where you were at. It was getting a little bit dark out there. I won't lie. I thought we were getting ready to get rained on, but we ended up getting pretty lucky today. Had pretty nice weather, a little bit of overcast. It was still hot, but it was definitely not near as hot as it could have been. So we did get pretty lucky indeed. Well, folks, we got a little over half of that little island done anyway. So that cleaned up pretty well. That little section right there, I think, is going to be even tougher. It's got a lot of bigger trees in there that I'm going to have to cut out of there. And that was a fight, let me tell you. I'm going to be 100% honest. I think this one right here pretty much ruined my day. I don't know how well you can see all that, but at some point in time, I got so far into that thing that it pretty much wouldn't let my blade back out of there. So I got to a certain point and I had to keep going. And it was at an awkward angle. That was a fight, that little tree. I mean, that's a little bitty scrawny tree in comparison. But I'll eventually gonna cut these out of the ground or knock them out with the tractor, one of the two. I'm pretty sure I could do either one. Won't be too much of a problem. I did run into another pretty decent tree stump out here. So it's dead right here. I can probably just kick that over. I'm just gonna wait. We're gonna wait and see what happens here on the next project. But then I got these two pine trees that are gonna stay for now. But then I'm gonna try to get into this section. That'll pretty much open that up. And so something I figured out, I think, while I was taking my break, was I think these are truck marks, and I think these truck marks are coming from either right through there or right through there, because there aren't very many big trees right through there. But I bet that's going to lead right back to that pocket that we opened up a few days ago. That's just my guess. But we're going to get this sucker over to the burn pile here. I kind of scooted in this burn pile a little bit the other day when I was out here. I was only out here for maybe an hour, but I think we got a military helicopter coming overhead here, folks. I think it's going the other way, or I'd see if we could catch it. Anyway, I moved this pile, kind of pushed it in just a little bit. It's right there somewhere. I'm almost thinking it's in the clouds. Oh, I barely see it right there. I think it's 2 Chinooks. See if it pops out there. There it goes. Maybe there's only one. Some jokers are loud though. Anyway, I thought he was about to fly right overhead for a second. Anyway, I pushed this in the other day. As you can see, I kind of got it piled up a little bit tighter, at least here in the front. All this green stuff is pretty much everything we've pulled out of here today. I did just a little bit the other day. I was gonna get these trail cameras, but I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be on the majority of them. I did a lot of work in here over the last few days. I did a lot of work in this area the last few days. The only ones that might be worth grabbing are the ones in the back. We'll let them marinate a little bit more. There's a possibility for rain. Seems like there always is, but Bertha missed us, so that's a plus. I don't think we're gonna get too much more off of that, but we need a little bit of rain, but I don't want to get washed out. Again, it's got to be dry up here so the well guy can get in, and I'm hoping to talk to him next week. We'll see what happens. Folks, day 71, we kind of went back to the basics. Got the Sawzall. I say the basics. We did have the brush hog. We did have the DR Pro. That's coming along pretty nicely. I think I'll probably cut that out and try to leave everything else, at least for a while. At some point in time, I got to do something with that mess I made. But if I get out here Saturday, that's the area I'm going to be working on. I'm going to basically do the same thing I did over here. Just get in there with the Sawzall, the clippers, and the DR Pro 30, which I'm glad to have back in business. Folks, I appreciate you watching along with me. Hope everybody's having a good week. You'll probably get this maybe Friday afternoon, but I'll be back out here Saturday, possibly Sunday if we don't get rain. I got a lot of shit. I got a lot of stuff I got to do. We'll catch you next time.